Alright guys, welcome back to Blue Horizon Diving. I know it's been a while since last posted, we've been so busy, but Holly's been running our very first IDC.
Yep, so that's been 10 days on the go, teaching some new instructor candidates and their exams tomorrow, so hopefully they pass that.
But before we had the IDC, we actually headed back up to Port Douglas to dive the Great Barrier Reef again, and we were really excited. I dived it years ago, and I was wondering what it's going to look like again, but Holly, it was going to be the first time for her to dive the northern parts to Agincourt Reef. Now we had to fly all the way up to Cairns, get in a car. What was the car, Holly?
It was just a really big car. We chose like the mystery car, and it was huge. I think it was an 8-seater.
Yeah.
There were only 2 of us, so that was fun.
So we had to drive that up to Port Douglas, and it was beautiful up there. But let's jump in and see what it's all like diving the Agincourt Reef system out of Port Douglas on the Great Barrier Reef in Australia.
We have to jump. Ready? Come back. Because you're going to jump and make a really cool...
Before we jump,
ready?
Don't forget to subscribe, comment and like. Help us out a lot, guys.
You're just going to jump and then you have to dip below the screen. Ready? 3,
2,
1,
go.
And go down. Wave. Look alive. Do a jump.
No. You're good. Stamps. With a smile. What's that? We're so excited to be back on the Great Barrier Reef, and the first thing we notice is how amazing the visibility is again. Holly is so excited. Recently we've been diving a lot of low vis, 3 metres, 5 metres, so that's about 15 feet, but to be back in good clear water and warm water, we were so excited. And the first stop of the trip, diving 35-mile reef on the Agincourt Reef system of the Great Barrier Reef. Now this is about an hour and a half, 2 hours out of Port Douglas. It's a pretty long sail out while we get all the paperwork done, but now it's time to enjoy and see this ride. It's worth it. Those 2 hours was worth it to explore some of the most beautiful reef in the world. And of course, yes, as you just saw there, we had eastern clown anemone fish, or also known as Nemo, and this was the actual Nemo. Not like the western ones you get, this is the eastern one, the true fish that was Nemo was based off. But as we're moving around the reefs, we're just seeing so much amazing life. Schools of double line fusiliers everywhere, and we had a nice little surprise pop up. We didn't expect it, but here comes a bumphead parrotfish. This is one of the largest parrotfish in the world, and it is spectacular. And you can guess why it's got its name, the bumphead, because that big bump on the top of its head. It's also known as the humphead as well, or the great humphead parrotfish, but it was so cool to see them, because it's not often you get to see an amazing fish like that. Now we were just so happy to be moving around the reef, seeing so much amazing life, including triangular butterfly fish and these incredible reef structures coming up. Now as you guys know, the Great Barrier Reef can be seen from space. And when you look at it underwater, you're probably thinking, it's not as colourful as I thought it was. It's very like browny, greeny colours. That is actually completely normal and healthy. It's not that they're unhealthy, it's just the algae that grows on them and the algae it releases out. It might be the brown or green tinge, but honestly this is very healthy, and as you can see, there's no bleaching, even if Holly is hungry and eating a couple of Haribos underwater. She was doing that for one of our videos coming up on Instagram, so check that out, check our Instagram, I'll tag it here, and our TikTok to see that video coming up very soon. But as we were moving around the reef, we were just so happy. Seeing pink anemone fish, seeing so much amazing life, and we were getting to dive one of the most popular dive sites and the Agincourt Reef System's Harry's Bommie. We went the whole way around the Bommie, and there was just, honestly, the reef, as I said, isn't bleached as you hear in the news all the time. But what was beautiful was the amount of coral, the diversity of coral as well. And as you're going to see coming up, there's one of these massive coral structures coming up. Now, coral grows about a centimetre a year, or a few centimetres. So if you look at this structure here, you think it grows a centimetre a year. Think how old that structure is. You're talking 2, 3, maybe 4,000 years old. It is honestly mind-blowing. And yes, there is colour in the coral, as you can see here, with blues and purples as well. And we were just delighted to be diving back with healthy reef, beautiful reef, warm water, crystal clear as well. And another bumphead parrotfish popped up. And there was me earlier saying that it's pretty rare to spot one on the Great Barrier Reef. They're not as common as you get to see. Here we are with 2 on the dive. So I guess we're a bit lucky today. But honestly, if none of you have dived the Great Barrier Reef before, it's definitely worthwhile the trip. The last time we were diving down in Norman, Saxon and Hastings Reefs down the south. We're kind of the more middle bit south of Port Douglas, the Agincourt Reefs were at today. But today we're on the Agincourt Reef Systems, which are absolutely beautiful and spectacular. And to reach these, you jump out of Port Douglas, and this trip we jumped on Silver Sonic, which, funny enough, this is a dive operator I dived back in 2016 with, all these years ago, on the same boat. It was amazing to be back out almost 8 years later, exploring these beautiful reefs again. And what do I think compared to back 8 years ago? The reefs are still spectacular, in amazing health, looking beautiful. The one thing I would say, we didn't see as many sharks this time. A lot of time I saw a lot of little black tip reefers and white tip reefers. It wasn't as many this time, we did have a couple, but still, it did not disappoint us and we had an amazing time. And as always guys, thank you so much for coming out and diving with us. We'll see you in the next video.